Hello everyone, my name is Vijeth Nayak. If you're part of Saaspire Community in some or the other way, you already know me by now. I'm the founder and community leader at Saaspire. I think in the last 15 months, we would have coached at least 85-90 folks, especially from B2C or edtech sales, and we have helped them to transition into SaaS selling or B2B selling. Okay. Now, in today's video, I don't have any sort of script. Okay, I'm just having my iPad and there's no script written, but I'll tell you what is written here. So, a bunch of questions which people keep on asking me whenever I kind of have webinars, or even people ping me on LinkedIn. Some people have reached out to me on WhatsApp. So these are some of the general questions that people reach out to me for, and I would want to cover most of them in this video. So I've just made a note of all these questions, and I'll try my best to answer. So this video is gonna be a kind of unfiltered version, right? So don't expect me to sugarcoat things, or don't expect me to you know kind of give you some logical answers and all. It's going to be a little more emotion backed, strategy backed kind of a conversation that I want to have through this video. So let's not waste time, let's get started. If in case you have not subscribed to this channel of ours, please do subscribe. Every subscriber motivates us. We don't run YouTube channel to make money. We're just running this channel to help a lot of you folks prepare for your next career transition, and that's the whole agenda here. Okay. The very first question that I have here is, why should I move into SaaS sales, or why should I move into B2B selling from B2C selling? Now, if you watched my previous videos, you already know that I'm not a preacher of SaaS selling, or telling people to move into SaaS selling and all of that. So I moved for my own reasons. I work with people who want to move for their own reasons. Now, again, so I cannot tell you why you should be moving, but I can only tell you what are some of the benefits that you might get here, right? When I was doing edtech sales, or when I was doing B2C kind of selling, it was a daily pressure kind of a thing that I was part of, right? uh, Nothing to blame about edtech or B2C selling, but the business is designed in such a manner where you are expected to sell every day. You are expected to talk to more people, dial more, and you have a script which you have to talk and all of that, and try to convince them to buy your course or whatever product you have. Now, even though, right, foundationally it helped me to learn the basics of selling and all of that, one bigger challenge for me was there are no Monday, it's Monday, Tuesday off, right? So there is no Saturday, Sunday off. And I'm kind of disconnected with the world. That's what I was feeling, because everyone in my family, my friend circle, they are working from Monday to Friday, and I'm working from Wednesday to Sunday, right? And now, because you are selling a course, it's a B2C product, you have to be available whenever the buyer is available. So what if my buyer is available on a Monday? So I will end up working on Monday as well. Now, this is what used to happen, and it was kind of bothering me, right? Shouldn't I be, living like the rest of the world? Aligning with them, taking my breaks as per that, so that I can make my travel plans and all of that, right? So that was the major reason. Second thing is, it's a daily grind, right? Every day you have to keep doing the same thing, and I could see that after some years, there was no learning curve as such, right? It's the same thing that you're doing, and there is nothing innovative. I mean, even if I change my company, it's the same course, right? You have to sell courses basically, and you're talking to the same kind of people. Either they are from tech background or not from tech background, but similar kind of people, right? So I was always looking for ways where I could possibly improve my learning curve, right? I could and build conversations with people where I also get to learn a lot. So this was something I was looking for, and then I figured out that if I get into B2B selling, if I sell a software or any sort of product to businesses, I'm going to talk to business decision makers. Okay, now when I'm talking to business decision makers, they might be VP of marketing, VP of sales, they might be CTOs, CDOs, CEOs, all are at executive level, right? And as I try to understand their world, I'm also learning. I'm learning more about their KPIs. I'm trying to learn more about what problems do they chase, and I'm also learning more about how I can help them solve their problem through my solution, right? So now I could figure out that this is never going to end. The reason being, if I'm bored of one kind of a product, let's say if it's an AI product and I get bored of it, I'm going to choose maybe a HRMS product. And if there is HRMS product, I get bored of it, I don't want to talk to HR leaders anymore, I go and choose a marketing automation tool. So this is never going to end, right? And the personas keep on varying, and I'll always have my own learning and in the process of understanding their world and all of that, right? So this was one of the major reason I decided to change. Now you have to identify why you want to make a shift. Don't make a shift because your friends are making a shift. Okay, this is the first question we ask to anyone who comes to us at Saaspire. We ask them, why do you want to make this shift? Now, are you making shift because your friend also made a shift, or are you having your own reason? So I would suggest find your reason. Don't, and if that reason is just because you're seeing a lot of other people doing it, no. What if you're really good at B2C sales, right? What if you're already enjoying B2C selling, right? So I don't think so you should be making a change, right? One more question, I think I have noted it down here as well. Uh, people do ask me about the money, right? Now, do you make more money in edtech or B2C sales, or do you make more money on B2B selling, right? Now, I think it's pretty much evident, right? When you sell to businesses, they pay you more money. It's as simple as that, right? It's like, let's say you have one course, it might be costing 4 lakh rupees. What if you are selling the same course to businesses? There might be 100 people, gonna buy your course together. So it's 100 into 4 lakhs or 100 into discounted version of 4 lakhs, right? So which means businesses always end up paying more, which also means there is more money in selling to businesses, right? Maybe your maybe during the initial stage, right, when you are just an SDR, you're doing the outbound kind of a work, lead generation, lead qualification, maybe you won't see that much of money. But as you get into the closing roles, as you get into account management, expansion, upselling, cross-selling, these kind of roles, you will see a lot of money. Okay, there are a lot of companies who pays a flat kind of a commission. Like for example, my employer pays me approximately 5% of whatever I sell. Now, if I sell a $100,000 deal, I get $5,000. If I sell a 1 million, then I get 5% of it still, right? So, how much ever you sell, you always get flat. This is some companies who operate. Even other companies, I think they pay good amount of money to their account executives as well, right? So there is more money. Maybe you will not make that money overnight. Okay, maybe just by joining and spending 6 months, you might not be able to see that level of money. But what I feel is, when you are planning for a career transition, right, it's step by step, right? It's one step at a time. So first you figure out what should be the entry point. You take that entry point and then you learn those skill sets. Then you see what is the next step, right? And then you go and master those skill sets as well. I think this is how you plan your journey ahead, right? So don't expect money overnight. Maybe you are a successful edtech salesperson. Maybe you're already making 2 lakh rupees a month as incentives, right? Don't expect the 2 lakh to happen overnight when you become an SDR, right? But eventually, can you reach there? Eventually, can you reach at 10 lakhs in incentives or 20, 30 lakhs in incentives per year? You can, you're right. I have seen that kind of money. I have seen people making that kind of money. So there is no doubt that, B2B sales has a lot of money. Okay. The problem I see majorly with edtech is you might be making money today, but whatever tomorrow, right? So let's say you are a edtech rep today, you're selling courses, you do well, you make some money, they'll make you a manager eventually, right? You're managing a team, but what are you doing after managing a team? You're doing the same thing, teaching them how to sell those courses, right? And then they sell, you make some money out there, then maybe they'll make you a director or maybe a business manager or a general manager, right? What are you doing then? Like I do have friends who have become general managers, business managers, they're still managing a team of 10 people only, right? So there is no learning curve as such which evolves at that scale, unless and until maybe you are a VP or a director in a company. But what are your chances of becoming a director or a VP, right? How much time it would take? You have to think from all those angles, right? So from the individual contributor perspective as well, there is a lot of learning which will happen because B2B selling is not about forcing someone to buy, right? B2B selling is more about understanding their world, positioning your product or service in the most strategic way, right? Showcasing them how your product can, solve the problems for them, right? And you cannot force someone to buy. You cannot manipulate someone here, right? All you can do is, run ROI-based conversations. And to run ROI-based conversations, you have to understand their world. Now, without understanding your buyer's world, you will not be able to sell to them. And understanding buyer's world itself is, I mean, maybe I can do a 1 hour video separately, on understanding the buyer's world. So, in my experience, learning has been better. Money has been better. It took some time, right? I also made a lot of money in B2C edtech, selling. It took some time, but eventually we got in there, right? There's one more question here about the skill sets, right? Now, this is something people ask me: what skills should I focus on if I want to get into B2B selling? Now, let's first understand how this entire go-to-market teams operate in a SaaS company or um, in the B2B world, right? Now, GTM teams have various roles. I'm going to talk more about the sales side here, not covering marketing roles. There is SDR, Sales Development Representative. Now, SDR's role is the front line, right? You are the person who is helping the company build good pipeline. Now, understand one thing: any SaaS product without a good pipeline is not going to work out, right? And SDRs are the people who are responsible for this pipeline. You are going to book qualified meetings with the sales team or with the account executive of your company, and they will discover more and they will try to understand your prospect better and eventually sell, right? Now, you are a pipeline builder, you are a pro qualifier, right? It is that kind of a role. This role will still be heavy on cold calling. If you are already in edtech, you would have done a lot of cold calls on daily basis. So the same thing continues here as well, right? So this cold calling heavy role. Cold emailing also is an important skill set, especially when you are selling to APAC, Europe, Middle East, Africa, or the North American markets, right? So emails still work there. Maybe India still is, not there compared to other markets when it comes to cold emails. But writing good emails, writing good LinkedIn messages, because these are the 3 channels you would be using to talk to people, to qualify, to understand their world better, and all of that. So these are some of the skill sets that you would need, okay? But understand one thing: any kind of a B2B role, B2B selling role, what I feel is discovery and curiosity will always be the foundation of selling here, right? So if you're not at good discovering, if you're not good at, if you're not curious, what kind of questions will you ask? You're just doing it for the sake of it, right? So you cannot be that person who is just, doing it for the sake of it. Like, I have a script, I'll just read it. You cannot be that kind of person, right? You should be curious. You should try to understand their world, okay? When you're genuinely curious, the questions automatically flow in. This is something I have observed in my experience, right? Unless and until you feel that I'm just doing it for the sake of it, maybe you'll just go by the books. You'll just see, a couple of questions which is already there in the script, and you will try to, ask those questions. But if you're genuinely curious, you would dig down deep. You will try to understand the prospect more and more. Okay, so always learn the art of discovering, right? There is a very good book called How to Listen by Oscar Trimboli, right? I would suggest that book because it will teach you how to listen when you're talking, right? And the various levels of listening and all of that. So it's a great book to, because most of the time, we are not listening. We are just trying to respond, and that's the purpose of listening. But you need to hear. There are a lot of things which are layered down over there, right? So you need to understand your prospect, and listening is very foundational. So that book is really good. It's a very simple read. Do try to read it or listen to audiobook or something like that. But for an SDR, it's still a cold calling heavy role, cold emailing, LinkedIn messaging, writing skills, right? These are also important, and this is what you have to focus on. Then comes account executives, right? Account executives are the closers, right? Now, AEs will always work on discovery, demos, right? Understanding the need, right? And helping the prospect identify some of the pain points which they never thought it existed, right? They help you understand that. It's all again part of the discovery itself. So AEs are the people who are the closers. Like even in edtech sales, I think you would be doing it, right? So like I get a lead from marketing, I call, I try to uncover the pain, then I schedule a demo, I show them the product, and eventually, you know, I will push them to sell. I'll create urgency or something like that. But AE maybe, it's not like you cannot create random urgency and all, right? So you have to have a strategy. Again, the ROI based conversation, mapping their pain with your product rather than product, the features, maybe which features can solve what pain, all of these kind of things, right? That is more of account executive kind of a role. Then there are account managers. This is what I do. So account managers manage the existing accounts of the company, right? Now, our job is to build relationship, ensure that the customer is getting maximum value out of the product they have already bought, and at the same time expand that account, right? That's account management. So we don't possibly, I don't know, it differs company to company, but most of the companies have account management motion to expand the accounts, okay? So they don't have account management motion just to retain a customer or something like that. Even though renewals, churn prevention is part of our KPIs, right? But our focus is majorly to expand an account and ensure they are getting the value out of the product. There are CSMs, customer success managers, who actually takes care of retention, right? Customer success managers usually try to showcase the value, ensure the product is being optimized well and all of that, and they ensure that the customer doesn't churn. What is churn? Customer leaving your company, right? Or the product. That is called churn, right? So these are some of the roles. Now, skill set wise, right? If you observe every role, if you are good at discovering, if you are curious, right? If you are genuinely interested in solving the pain for your customer, then automatically you are going to be benefited, right? It will give you that edge through which you can solve people's problem, and when you solve people's problem, they buy more from you. That is how it works. This is not rocket science. You don't need a Harvard MBA to understand this logic, right? Solve people's problem, and when you solve people's problem, when they see that genuinity in you, they buy more, right? Whenever you are an SDR as well, it's the same. Try to be genuinely interested in solving their problem, and they will respect it. They will come to you. They will attend those meetings, and that is how you achieve your quotas as well. Now, there's one question, right? Should I learn everything before making a transition, and how important is it? Okay, so now let's break down this a bit. Okay, when you want to make a transition, what is important? According to me, there are two things. Okay, first, you should know how to get interviews. Second, you should know how to do well in those interviews. So these are the only two things you need while transitioning. Okay, now again, if you break them down, yes, there are certain other steps as well. Like for example, let's say the first challenge, right? Getting more interviews. Now, in order to get more interviews, there are multiple things you have to do, right? Maybe you should know the fundamentals of B2B selling. You should know how B2B cold calling happens, how B2B cold emailing happens. You should also know what kind of LinkedIn outreach people do. These are all basics, okay? So you should know all of that. For an SDR role, what I feel is learning how to build a sequence. Okay. Now, what is a sequence? It's like the step-by-step, touch points that you would have with your potential buyer. Now, that's a important skill set any SDR should have. So, if you learn how to build sequences, then automatically you would, you would use the same sequencing for your job hunt as well. Maybe you will reach out to some sales managers, you will reach out to people for referrals, you will reach out to recruiters for jobs and all of that, right? Now, before doing that, what else should be ready is your resume, right? Now, your resume should have those required skill sets. Now, I cannot put those skill sets just like that, right? Like cold calling, cold emailing, lead generation, lead qualification. I cannot just put that. I should know what it is, how to do that, right? So I should know some of the qualification frameworks. May it be BANT, may it be SPIN, may it be MEDIC, how they work, what kind of questions to ask. So what do? I go on Claude, I go on ChatGPT. I try to understand how MEDIC works, how BANT qualifying works, how SPIN works. I'll take some examples maybe. The best thing, what I suggest, what I used to do was simulation, right? So You assume that you are already an SDR in a company, and you kind of do everything that an SDR would do in that company, and that is how you learn, right? Like for example, if I was an SDR in Salesforce, what would I do? How would I learn the product of Salesforce? How would I identify the buyer personas and the kind of companies, right? So all those kind of things we'll check, okay? And then what I do is I'll build a proper sequence, okay? What is the step one? What is the step two? What is the step three? Am I using multi-channel here? Am I going to use LinkedIn? I'm going to use email, calls. When do I use what channel? All of this, right? So now that now these are the skill sets, right? I automatically know if I'm putting them on the resume, I know I have to master this. There are many free certifications. There are communities like Saaspire. There are other communities. There are coaches who are helping. There are mentors who are helping. You can choose based on, I mean, whatever you want to do. Sometimes you might want to do a self preparation, go for it. Sometimes you might want to have a mentor, go for it. Whatever you feel is good for you, right? And whatever you feel is giving you that confidence to make the transition within 90 days of time from the day you decide, go for it, right? For me, I mean, personally, having mentors helps because mentors will make you accountable, right? And there's this question, I think I should take it up later, but okay, I'll take that and come back again. So should I have a mentor or should I buy a course? uh, that's also a question people keep asking to me. So now, just because I'm a mentor, I run mentorship programs, doesn't mean I promote that. See, courses, usually there are good courses. Even in India, there are a lot of people who have created good courses. But what I feel is, when you're in the process of transitioning, when you're in the process of job hunting and learning, right, I don't think so you should be investing a lot of money on courses. When you already have the job, buy courses, right? Spend some time, half an hour, 1 hour every day, and learn and master these things. During the job hunting, it's not only the learning which is going to help. You need a person who can push you. You need a person who can make you accountable. You need a person who can sometimes motivate you as well, right? Let's say you are facing back to back rejections, you need someone to motivate you. So you need that shoulder, basically, or you need that hands, right, which is hold you and which will drive you towards your goal. So having a mentor always helps, according to me, right? That's my personal opinion. Again, nothing against courses or nothing against these schools, academies who have their own courses. They're all good. They're good. Most of the courses are run by my friends only, so they're all good, okay? But according my personal opinion, if you're already an SDR, if you go and buy a course of a 90 days or 60 days, you do them, you learn a lot and you can implement as well, okay? But while you're transitioning, it's better to have a mentor if in case you feel lost. Even, I mean, you can be self-sufficient as well, right? If you already know how to keep yourself accountable and know what is the step-by-step thing to be done and make a transition, go for it. Why do you need a mentor as well, right? People do transition without mentors as well. Like, I mean, when people talk, when they come to me and talk about, Saaspire helps so many people to transition and all of that, what I feel is, even before Saaspire existed, people have made transition. I mean, when I made a transition, Saaspire never existed because I started Saaspire after I made a transition. So people have made transition. So it's just that today, because the market keeps evolving and there are a lot of new things, too much of confusion, sometimes people lack direction and all of that, we have built a platform where we can just give you that direction, ensure that there is someone available for you to have those conversations, chit chat, like a brother from B2B or SaaS companies, right? So that's what we built. Sometimes you might need more practice, and in order to practice as well, you need someone, right? You can't keep relying on AI for all the practice. But what I feel is, having a person beside helps. It does help. Whether they're charging, whether it's free, doesn't matter, but having a person helps. Okay. So if you also have some friends on the B2B side, see if someone can spend time with you. If you don't have anyone, come to us. We are available. We are doing this, for last 15 months. We would be happy to assist you. Right? I mean, we are trying to do everything possible to create enough amount of content, right, to help people make this transition. Now, coming back again, right? Should I learn all the skill sets? Not required. As I said, the first challenge is to get interviews. Learn how to get interviews. Only those skill sets, maybe cold outreach, building sequences, learn that. Okay. I also get asked this question, how much of tools I should learn. I think I have to spend 6 months on understanding the tools and all of that. I mean, to be honest, in today's, how the market is evolving, there is a new tool every month, right? So organizations also trying to figure out which tool works best, what kind of automations to use, and all of that. So I don't think so. You should heavily be relying on tools and learning tools and all of that. Know which tool does what. Like, for example, what does LinkedIn Sales Navigator do? What does Outreach or Instantly AI do? What does Lucia, Zoom Info, Apollo AI do? So all of these clay, right? So understand what these tools do, and all of these tools have free certifications. Go and do them. They're freely available. You need not even spend a penny, right? Go and do these free certifications. Try to understand how this tool works, and that should be fine. Because, like, I remember, right, during my second year of engineering, I went and learned driving a car. We didn't have a car. Okay, my dad asked me to join a car driving school. I joined, I learned, but we didn't have a car. So now what is the point? I know driving, but we don't have a car. So eventually I lost touch. So that is what is going to happen. You learn all these tools. You don't have a job. You don't have an SDR job to go implement these tools and figure out and all of that. So eventually you're going to lose touch of those tools, right? So what is the point then? So it's better to take a job and learn all those tools in depth. And according to me, any tools, right, in today, any tool can be learned within a week. Okay, that to a stack of tools, not only one tool. Like, a stack of tools can be learned within a week. And as I said, doing these free certifications should be more than enough for now. I don't think so anything else matters as of now. All right. I'm trying to go to the next question. Okay, so this is an important one, right? So I have been a manager in edtech. I know how difficult it is, after reaching a certain level. You feel that you have upgraded in your career, and then you realize that I'll be stuck in a loop. I have to do the same thing again and again, and you want to make a shift, but you are already at a little higher pay package, and now it's kind of a loop. Maybe if you have increased your commitment as well, as per the, as per your salary, then it becomes more difficult for you to make a transition, right? Let's understand salaries as a concept, right? So now, what a lot of startups did, okay, including edtech startups, even some SaaS companies today as well, which are startups, they give you an inflated salary just to ensure you stay there, or just to ensure you trust them and join that company, right? Whether you deserve that salary, you didn't deserve, I don't know, right? I'm nobody to comment on that. But you ended up in an inflated salary. Just understand that. Now, when you want to switch, now from B2C selling, you have good experience in B2C selling. Maybe you know how to build teams, how to bring revenue out of them, but doesn't mean you will go and do that job well in B2B, right? Everything works differently in the B2B selling side. So now how do you manage all of these things, right? You need to start from scratch. There is no way you can directly, just because I was a manager in a B2C edtech company, I can't go and say, hey, hire me as a manager. It's not going to happen. Maybe your people management, maybe your managerial skills will benefit you. Okay, it will benefit you eventually. But now the first step, you need to learn the process. You need to learn the outbound. Because even if you become an account executive directly, you have to do your outbound, right? And that's one more question people ask me, like, can I become an account executive directly? You can. Nobody is going to stop you. But the problem is companies will not easily trust you. Okay. EdTech sales attracts EdTech sales. SaaS sales attract SaaS sales talent, right? Talent wise. Now, getting another EdTech or B2C selling job is not a big deal for you because you have the experience. Same way, the SaaS companies also want experienced people. Now, you directly go and you become an account executive over there, you will be lost. Right? You would not know because you are depending on your SDR's pipeline, whatever they're giving you, but later you are figuring out that it is not so well qualified, then you have to do your outbound, but to do the outbound, you don't know outbound, you never did an SDR job, you will be stuck in a loop. And then you will start complaining B2B is not for me. Many people have done that. I have friends who have done that. Don't do it. Okay? Learn outbound. Know how the cold outreach works on the SaaS product side or B2B selling side. Then get into a closing role is what I would suggest. Sometimes there are certain companies like IT sales or tech sales companies who might be open to offer you a closing role because they have a marketing team who will give you a lead. They don't have a SDR team. Okay, those kind of companies, maybe IT sales companies. I'm not sure. Maybe companies like Oracle, IBM, Kaseya. There are a lot of other companies, right, who might, but even there, right, I don't know, your chances are very less, maybe 10% chances. Salary wise, these kind of companies will be open to match your kind of salary, what you get as a manager or a leader in edtech. But otherwise, the standard I have seen, right, I mean, according to me, SDRs being paid about 20 lakhs, who are beginning the career, I'm talking, it's a risk for their career, right? Uh, so 18-20 is the maximum, at least I have seen in my experience. So if you think you can manage your life within that range, 15 to 20 bracket, become an SDR, please. Spend 2 years, 8 quarters, learn it on the ground, grind well, and then become an account executive. Nobody can stop you. Okay. Let's say you might be at 20 lakhs package now. Maybe you have to take a little cut. Maybe you went for 16, 17 lakhs as an SDR. Grind there. Second year, maybe you will already reach 20 LPA or something like that. Third year onwards, when you become an AE, you can pass that mark and cross 25 LPA as well now because you have an experience. A 2 to 3 year SaaS, sales professional with good experience, proven track record of doing well, earns more. They earn about 25, 30 LPA as well, right? So you need to be smart about this. It's not about today's transition. It's about what will happen in the next 5 years. It's about what will happen in the next 10 years. Where will I, take my career, right? It depends on multiple parameters. So don't just gauge it by money. But yes, I understand money is a thing. If you have commitments, if you have financial commitments, try to solve that and then focus on the transition. Most of the time, people don't take cut, but sometimes if you're already at a very high pay package, maybe, right? But don't worry, you have to ask one important question to yourself. If you are an edtech sales manager or a B2C sales manager, do you want to be in the same loop? If you're enjoying it, you want to be there, please do it, right? Make money, prosper in life. But if you're someone who wants a balanced life, you want like Monday to Friday work 9 hours, you want good offs, you want to take offs and go on a break with your family whenever you want, and all of those kind of lifestyle, right? With money, with good amount of money, then I think B2B or SaaS selling is the game you have to master. Okay, and for that, maybe initial setbacks will be there, but eventually you will get on. Okay. So I think I have covered managers and the salary part as well. In general, the salaries, right? So what I have seen in my experience, 12 to 14 LPA has been the average for SDR role. A's, it starts somewhere between 18. I'm talking about the standard well-paying kind of companies, right? So every industry has companies who pays really low than the market standard. We're not going to talk about that. A's make anything above 18, 20 LPA, goes up to 30 LPA. AMs in good companies make in the range of 25 to 35 LPA, and it goes above and above, right? As you gain more experience, you get paid well. So I know people who are account executives and who earn above 50 LPA as well, right? And not too much experience, 8-10 years of experience in SaaS sales itself, right? So that's how the salaries work. Now, more than salaries, the skill sets, how you shape up your career, how you plan, your career step by step, where you want to go, when do you want to get into enterprise selling. Beginning, maybe SMB selling might help you because SMBs are smaller businesses and you already have experience talking to individuals. SMB can help you. Directly jumping into enterprise sales might be too much. If you're learning, if your company has good enablement plan, or you are open to learn and all of that, it's different, right? But maybe SMB can be a good start, and then eventually getting into enterprise selling, closing bigger deals can help you make more and more money, right? That is how it works. Have I covered all the questions? I'm not too sure. I think I have covered all the questions. I'll come back to one important question before we wind up. So why not edtech or B2C sales? Nothing wrong. There is good money in some good companies, right? Some companies have decent kind of culture as well, but most of the companies don't have good culture because everyone is chasing, revenue. It's not their mistake. Investors are sitting on their head. They have to, run at a particular rate, the run rate. Only then things can go well. There is no recurring revenue in edtech, right? It's one-time payment which your customers do, and yeah, there is always a pressure to bring in new revenue, and that is the only way for the company to survive. If monthly new revenue doesn't flow in, how will they pay salaries? How will the product become better, and all of that, right? Now, initially, okay, maybe up to 5 years you want to spend there, learn, become better at sales and all, it's fine. But after a while you start feeling it's the same thing you're doing again and again. There is nothing different to learn. Whichever company you go, it's the same courses. These days, because of this AI innovation, every company is behind selling data science, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and blah 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 and whatnot. And that is how it is going to be for the next 5 years. So the courses are going to be same, right? There's nothing new to learn. Now, why B2B? Again, it's not mandatory. You can always choose a career which makes you happy and still do it and be happy. But B2B or SaaS selling kind of gives you, that lifestyle, right? The money as well. And you work 9 to 5, you work 5 days a week. Your weekends are your weekends. Like, since the time I have made a transition, I've never got my manager's call on a weekend unless and until he was inviting me for a party, right? So there's no call, we just work, right? I don't take the work home. I'm just curious to learn, right? Initially, maybe I spent some time on the weekends to learn, but I'm not doing the work. I was doing it on my will, right? Because I know in the long run I'm going to make more money. Now that is how things work. Okay. What I feel is, make a choice. If you enjoy talking to business decision makers, if you enjoy logic driven conversations, if you enjoy consultative selling, value driven selling, you should get into B2B selling, because that is what matters here, right? If you are someone who is just used to pushing someone, forcing someone, and somehow you have to end up selling a product, B2B selling or SaaS selling is not for you. Please don't enter into this and waste your time. Be in a field where you can use those skill sets and make more money. But if you're someone who's behind consultative selling, value selling, you are open to understand people's world, you are more curious about knowing what matters to them, to your buyers, and then driving your conversation in that direction, B2B selling is for you. Okay. And yeah, I mean, life is good. Okay. If you're someone who's already under a lot of stress, you're clueless, you don't know where to go, what to do, don't worry. We have built this platform, we have built this community. Please do be part of it. We do free webinars, we do a lot of free knowledge sharing and all of that. The whole agenda of building this community was to help people learn, for free initially, and even if you have to pay, you have to, like, you get more for the most reasonable amount of money that you spend, right? That was the whole point of building this community, because I believe it's very difficult. Transition is very difficult. I have been there, I've done that. It's not easy, especially when you quit your current job, there is no money and all of that. It becomes messy, right? So having direction, having that energy and clarity can give you that push. If you feel like having a mentor, there are platforms like Saaspire or any other platforms where you can pick up one mentor and continue a journey. But don't do it just because other people are telling you. Do it with your own will. Do it with your clarity. Okay, that's what I would like to say before I end the video. Once again, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe. Again, we don't run this channel to make money, but we want you to learn more and more, and we'll have a lot of conversations, podcasts coming in. So please do subscribe. It motivates us to create more content. And if you need any help, I'm just a message away. Feel free to get in touch with me, and we'll see whatever best we can do, and if we can work together or not. Thank you so much for listening, watching, and I'll see you next time with another video.